Hi, welcome to Pauline Interviews, and this is part 2. I'm interviewing a very fascinating person, JuJuolui Kuita, and she wrote a great book. It's called, let me see, I've got it down here somewhere. It's called We Are Among You Already, which she's putting herself out there. What she's referring to is there are people from other dimensions and other planets and other solar systems that are actually here on Earth. And I don't know why you find that hard to believe if you knew how big the universe is. And we all came from the same source, so why not? Anyway, she's not trying to convince you, and I'm going to ask her now, why did you write that book?
Really to help people, because so many people feel out of place, and they know they don't belong here, and they know that their parents are their parents, but not. Or they really just don't understand the way people think. Have a hard time with gravity. I had a hard time with gravity. I could not do rides until I was older and more adjusted to being here. There's so many reasons why people are just looking for answers. So if you can get as many people as you can, so I got 18, and just have them tell their story of who they are and how they found out. Because there's always a coming out stage, you know, an epiphany of some kind. Usually happens at certain stages in the life when you're developing on Earth. And just tell the story, and hopefully it'll reach somebody that is also looking for answers. The thing is just to be helpful and put it out there.
How did you find these 18 people? I mean, they're not just walking on the street going,
no,
hey,
no, they're not,
you're
really.
from another solar system, so am I.
I'm not psychic enough to know that and say, hey.
Yeah.
I had a best friend named Cynthia Crawford. She was the E.T. sculptor. She became pretty world famous for her sculptures. So she knew so many people. And so my guides really lit a fire under my butt one day, would not let me put it, would not let me, I had to act. I had a good book and they just wouldn't let go. So I finally just threw it down and called her and asked her what she thought about this book, and talking to different people and interviewing them. And so she gave me a lot of different names, and I researched it and I interviewed them, and some made the book, some didn't, because it has to be a certain vibration also. I really stay out of the negative. The ones who feel like they've been abducted, who are victimized of it, I stay away from that, because I don't take it away from them. Their experience is true for them, but that's not what my book's about.
And actually, now that you said that, I read your book, and it was very interesting, but there was one lady that she had a difficult life, but that doesn't mean she wouldn't have a difficult life, because we all have our ups and downs, but she seemed to have more difficult than anybody.
Right.
I don't know if you remember who that was.
Yes, and sometimes we have a lot of people experiencing those, and if for that one particular story, I felt it was good to include that, because what it does is it lets people know that there is a perspective. You don't have to be a victim to it. And if you can see it in another light, that maybe this was the reason why. We go to the dentist and they work on our teeth, and sometimes it hurts. But we voluntarily go because we know we're doing something for ourselves, which is loving to ourselves. So I've had that happen many times on the craft, and it's good for people to know that.
Yeah, it is. And I did enjoy your book, and some people I resonated with more than others. I mean, because even though I'm open-minded, it was hard to, you know what I'm saying? It was
certainly, and that's the whole point of the book. Yeah. You don't have to resonate to everyone. Just hopefully someone found one that they could resonate with, and give them some answers in life.
So the people that published your book, how did you get it published? Because here's something that you don't see often.
Right. I had another friend who was a hybrid as well, and she had her 2 books published by the same company, Earthstar. So I just contacted Earthstar and asked if this was something she'd be interested in, and she jumped on it, and apparently it's doing pretty
That's
okay.
Great. Can you get it on Amazon or any place like
that? It is on Amazon.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I think it's even an ebook.
Oh, now. Really? Yeah. Okay, so at least they're not censoring it.
Yeah, I'm lucky that way.
Jeez,
yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So, you said you were a hybrid too? So I don't know if you said it in the first interview. You're
both. DNA from both.
From
Fagui.
Okay, and a hybrid.
Right.
Can you tell us about? You said you miss where you're from. Can you tell us a little bit about your race and where you
Yeah, we're from the fifth dimension, so our bodies aren't thick like this. They're a lot lighter, and so the consciousness is very different. Basically, we're telepathic with each other. We can connect on levels we can't connect here. The movie Avatar,
Beautiful movie.
I cannot get enough of that movie because
Beautiful.
when they would sehelu, when they would connect, they could feel everything about the other being, and that's what we do naturally when we connect. Just energy-wise, you know, you just make the intention to connect, and you both do, and it's so beautiful. You know everything about the person. There's nothing to hide. You know, it's just very unconditionally loving. But we do have a form. We decided that a form of a reptilian form that's tall and athletic and beautiful and has a nice tail.
And not all reptilians can be both ways, right?
Can be both ways.
I mean, they can be good, or they can be just like human beings.
I think
They seem to have a bad rap when I read about some reptilians.
They do want here on Earth, but that's because there's a species here on Earth that deserve that rap. But there's evil, which, you know, is a very, very negative type of being, and then there's then there's your very unconditionally loving, and then there's everything in between. So, you know, it's not a matter of evil, good or bad. It's about, well, one, our perspective, and the other is just about they are just doing their duty. They're just doing their work, and you know, sometimes it feels like their interest is not towards you at the time because they're doing their work. But we're very sensitive about being asked permission first, and you know, we don't do that to the animals here on Earth.
No.
So, you know, that's how we can relate this. It doesn't mean that we're evil because we didn't ask them and wait for a response.
Right.
So if we can think about it that way.
Maybe it's because our dimension is there, and your dimension's where you come from. It's the higher dimension. You're more spiritually evolved. Right.
It's more it's closer to God, being the fifth dimension. That brings a lot of insight and love for other beings that are out there.
Why the heck did you come here?
Right. I ask that all the time.
I didn't mean it that way. I mean, you came from a more spiritual, highly evolved. But from what I read, a lot of people in your book have come here to help us. And I think I mentioned the first interview, you got an SOS, or maybe I didn't mention that.
I actually do remember so much, and I remember more and more as I get older. We were on the ship as a small craft, just the few of us. Jeremy is my guide, was on there, and Kayakta, who was my dog here, she actually incarnated for me for 10 years. We were all on the ship, and we got this bright white wave of light that just shot out from the galaxy. It just came through, or actually the universe, sorry, the universe is bigger, right?
The universe is the biggest. It's the solar system, galaxy,
I know,
universe.
I was being funny.
No, I mean, okay, but I just learned that. So
okay. So the universe.
I forgot about it.
In fact, it actually went out in different waves to different universes, because I had a friend, another hybrid friend, who was from the 10th dimension, who came here.
Oh, I didn't even go that far.
Yeah, so it really went out very far. And just asking for assistance from those beings out there who would find this a place to go, come and help. And the best way to help really is to incarnate, because of the law of non-intervention.
Oh, right.
So what happened in my case, and it happens differently for everybody, what happened in my case is a fraction of, I don't know how this happens, I'm not a scientist.
I know, yeah.
But a fraction of my soul from Fagui split off, and with the help of, I think, the Pleiadians, because I got some Pleiadian DNA mixed with my Faguian reptilian DNA to make this body, just as a container to manifest here on Earth. We're all containers. And that was how I could live here and do my mission here. So I'm not dead on Fagui. I'm living that simultaneous life like many of us are.
Yeah. And I understand that in that, because I've been doing metaphysics for years, and that they even say, like, I'm just thinking of the humanoids, your higher self is actually part of you that still remains in another dimension, that, you know, and just a small part of your soul is here in your body. So you know, even though I can't understand the other stuff, because as far as I know, I haven't, well, maybe I have, but I don't remember. But I can understand that by looking at it that way. You know, I understand what you're saying.
Okay. They say like a diamond too, with all the
facets.
beveled facets
Yeah.
that, you know, you're living all these things at the same time. There really is no space and time. Well, but it works for us here on Earth because we have time, we have to do this, time, we have to do that. So we make time.
Yeah.
And it's a tool and it works for us here.
Yeah, those concepts really fascinate me, that like there's no past, present, and future. Everything's happening simultaneously.
Be here now.
We're here now.
Live in the present.
Yeah, well, I can understand we're always in the present because well, I don't know, because maybe we can we go in the future? I mean, there are other dimensions. Can we go?
Well, with Reiki healing, a lot of it's going back to a time before something happens and knowing that it can shift the outcome.
Right, you can go
regardless
back.
of
Go back and clean things up.
You can go back, you can go forward, say, please, you know, I'm sending Reiki to this surgery for you.
Oh, right.
Or an exam.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
Now, Reiki, we haven't talked about Reiki, but I know Reiki because I'm a level 2. It's a healing energy, and you get attuned by a Reiki master, and it's because everything is energy, and Reiki's
just
one,
how you channel it.
Yeah, it's just one form of healing. I mean, there are other forms of energy healing as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
A lot.
Well, the people in the book, though, they all impressed me in that they were all focusing on the love, and they all want to help in some way, and they all incarnated. And I mean, it's really kind of you to come here and try to help elevate the planet Earth. And how do you think you can do that? Like you said, you non-interference.
Non-interference. So I had to incarnate looking like a human, which is hard for me because I don't. It's always been hard for me. I've always kind of been anxious around humans, and they always tell me that you're just being here helps, because it's like having a tuning fork. You know, if you place it around you, eventually things resonate to that.
There's a word for that.
Resonance.
Resonance. There you go.
Yeah. Something resonance.
Yeah.
I'm missing the other word.
But I know what you're. Yes, I understand completely.
So all you have to do is be here, and with your higher vibration that you bring, you're already helping. And it helps not just humans. It helps the earth. It helps the animals. It helps the minerals and everything else that's alive.
So what I mentioned too is that I hope I didn't in the first interview, but people are here to help us, to raise us to another dimension. And in your book, you mentioned there's going to be a universal grand shift into the 5th dimensional world. I hope that's not a tough question.
It's already happening. It's been happening. And Earth is a being just like one of us. She has a piece of God in her too. So as everyone's advancing spiritually, trying to get back to the Godhead, trying to get back to source.
How do you know that though? Because when I go on the internet and I see all these things that are happening because of money and greed.
It's a distraction. It's all a delusion. It's a distraction. Eventually in a lifetime you're going to get to the point where it's like, oh, I want to find God. And then and it happens for every soul. It's just natural for the soul. And you'll eventually get there, or not you personally, but everyone will eventually get there. We just see people.
I hope I do eventually.
We see everyone on that path in some level or another, some degree or another. There's no judgment. It's just where you're at the time. But all that's just distractions.
Well, yeah, but what I think about is because of these things are happening, there are people that are coming up and rising to make it better.
Right, make it better.
Make it better.
And that's the whole point, because Mother Earth wants to evolve.
Yeah.
And if you have humans on the planet that are still in that delusion and keeping the vibration low, it's very challenging for her to shift. And plus, she's our mother, in this solar system.
Yes. Yes.
And so she wants as many beings to shift with her as possible.
Yes.
It's very loving. It's wanting to take as many on your ship that you can take, that can stand the vibration of the waves you're going to. So you're waiting and waiting and waiting for all these animals, animals are easy, but all these humans and other beings.
Animals are easy, how so?
Their vibration is pure. It's already there. And they just, like with Reiki, I don't know if you've done Reiki on animals, but animals are so quick.
Yeah.
They only take like 10 seconds and then they're done and they walk away from you. Unless they're really in pain.
Yeah.
Or really have something going on. But yeah, the Mother Earth just wants to wait as long as she can to get as many with her as she can. So, if you can put out an SOS of love to all the beings, that's why we have so many beings on this planet right now.
We have a lot of beings on this planet.
Yeah, it just keeps growing.
It does. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean,
I guess it's your perspective.
Yeah, that's true.
If they're here to help, it's great. And that's the purpose.
Yeah.
The kids coming in right now are amazing.
Oh.
And they're going to help change everything. So, getting better and better.
Yes, I read the book on crystal and indigo. I mean, that's a whole other topic. We
Oh yeah,
talk about
that's a huge topic.
Children, yeah. So I think that's great. Did you want to add anything? I mean, I think it's wonderful, and that you put yourself out there with your book, and I thank you so much for doing the interview with me.
Oh, thank you.
And hopefully people won't judge it or come to conclusions.
And they can. It's okay if they do it. It's just out there.
It's out there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't actually want people to read it if they're not ready. That's why I was told to make the cover the way it is.
Oh, when I saw it, boy.
Because you need to know by looking at that whether that's for you or not.
Oh,
because the information can hurt you if you're not ready for it. And that is the opposite of the intention.
I understand now. I didn't know why you made the cover that way, because it is, well, people can see it, but it attracted me immediately because I just want to learn more, and I was open to it, and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I couldn't relate to a lot of stuff, but some more than others. And each one has everyone put out their information, their website, which is amazing.
Right.
So you can contact these people. They're not trying to hide in the shadows, because some of them actually have their photographs and others don't, but they all put out their information.
Yeah, we did use different names, anonymous names for them, except me.
Yeah, that's what
my name's out there.
Yes, your name's out there.
I was meant to be courageous this lifetime.
Yeah, well, you did a wonderful job.
Thank you. So we do, we try, to hide a little bit. I have a little child in there, so we definitely wanted to hide that.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, I did a one with people that said had been abducted, and 2 people were out there in the cameras, and 2 people were in shadows. I respect that some of them want to be out there, and some of them don't. Right. They're putting themselves out there, and I admire them so much. I
really do too. That's a huge step for their own healing.
Is there anything you want to add?
I think that we're all doing a great job, and if we could just know that we're all the same inside. It's all the same flame. It's all the same soul.
Same energy.
Regardless of if you're human or the animal or whatever comes from out there.
Whatever's living.
Everything.
Whatever animated. Yeah. Right. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we can get your book on Amazon and
Amazon. I used to have copies.
Barnes and Noble. I got mine in Barnes and Noble. I'm going to put a plug in for Barnes and Noble. I'm a member.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So from Earthstar herself, she sends them out. I used to buy boxes, and I would autograph them and send them, but I'm so busy in my life.
I'll have you autograph my book today, though.
Oh, certainly.
Okay.
Certainly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching another edition of Pauline Interviews. And if you're enjoying the show, please tell your friends about it. And if you like, you can subscribe to my channel too. I'd love for you to do that. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.